Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I'm really excited to be back, and in order to celebrate this return, I'm going to bring you not one but two of my current favorite recipes. One of these is going to be a sweet recipe and the other one's going to be a savory one. Both of them are going to be really quick. We're going to make some good old vanilla biscuits. Nothing fancy, but at the same time they turn out really nice. And we're also going to make a savory mix, or a chivda, so to say. This time we're going to use some puffed rice. I have shared with you a similar recipe in the past, and I'll leave a link to that one before, but that one used cornflakes. Today we're going to use puffed rice. So come with me to the kitchen and we'll get started. So for this recipe, you're just going to need a handful of things which a lot of you will already have in the house. So I've got 170 grams of all-purpose flour, 125 grams of butter. I'm using a dairy-free alternative. I'm using Nuttelex today, and 125 grams of brown sugar. We're also going to need a little bit of vanilla extract. I've got a vanilla bean paste here. You can use any extract that you'd like to flavor your biscuits or cookies with. And you're also going to need some leavening agents. To the all-purpose flour, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and half that quantity of baking soda. So that's 1/8 teaspoon. So I'm going to start off by creaming the butter and sugar. What I've done is, it is winter here, and butter spreads and all tend to stay a little more solidified this time of the year. I've just popped this into the microwave for about 15 seconds just to soften it a bit. You don't want to melt it down, just need it softened. To this, I'm going to add the brown sugar. And we're going to mix everything thoroughly. Now, like you can see, that's mixed through. At this stage, you can add your flavoring. I'm going to go in with about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then what we're going to do is just mix that baking powder and baking soda into the flour and add it to the bowl. And just like that, your cookie dough is ready. This is the consistency you're looking for. This is what you're going for. So it's soft and pliable, but it's not super sticky like you can see here. So before we start shaping these cookies, we're going to start by preheating our oven to 150 degrees Celsius, and we're going to start shaping up our cookies. At this point, I'm just going to roll up a few portions like you can see here and place them on a baking tray. Next, you're just going to pop these into the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. So while those cookies are baking off in the oven, we're going to start prepping for our savory snack mix, or our chivda. So today we're using puffed rice. I just get them in bags like this from my local Indian grocery store. And we're going to add in things that we know and love from these savory mixes. Now, the beauty of this recipe is that you can tweak and adjust these quantities to your liking. Here's what I'm using today. You're going to need curry leaves. I've just taken a small sprig from my plant outside. There's about 10 to 12, maybe a few more curry leaves here. I've got 1/4 cup of roasted and salted peanuts. You can also use the raw peanuts, but you're going to have to cook them off first. This is what I've got at the moment, so I'm using this. Now, typically a chivda uses roasted dal, chana dal. I don't have that on hand today, but what I do have is another one of my favorite snacks, which are roasted chickpeas. I've seen these at quite a few Indian grocery stores. These are with the skin on. So what we're going to do is we're going to shell them. I've added just an over a quarter cup of these in here. Like I said, the quantities are completely up to you. And if you just roll them between your palms, the shell comes off. So we're going to continue and clean the rest of that. In addition, I've got some sultanas. This is about 1/8 of a cup of sultanas. You can use raisins instead if you'd like. For the chura, the first thing we're going to do is dry roast that puffed rice or kurmura. And you're not looking for them to take on any color as such, but you want to get rid of any moisture that may have gotten to it in storage, and you want to get them crisp, nice and crisp. So we're just going to dry roast this in batches. I'm making a slightly bigger batch today. I'm making about 6 cups worth of puffed rice. You can halve the recipe if you want. You can double it if you want. It's very easy to scale this recipe. And you want to dry roast this over a medium heat. Don't leave this unattended because it can burn really quickly. And in just a couple of minutes, you'll see that these have gotten nice and crisp. So that's when you know they're done. Take them off the heat. And you can continue with the next batch. So now we're just going to temper a few spices, just a very few flavorings if you might, for the chura. So I'm going to go in with about 2 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil's hot, you're going to add in some mustard seeds, about a teaspoon or so. I always have a little bit of a lid on hand because this tends to splutter. Once the mustard seeds start spluttering, we're going to add in our curry leaves. You can add a couple of chilies, fresh chilies, cut into about 1/2 inch pieces in here if you'd like. We're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder. And because I've not added any chili in, I'm going in with 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. Now at this stage, you want to move a little quick. We're going to add in our mix-ins. Let the spices coat it nicely. Add in the sultanas as well. And I'm going to turn the heat off, let the residual heat do its thing. You're going to add some salt to taste. And you're going to pop all of this into that bowl of puffed rice that we had roasted earlier. And we're just going to mix all of that thoroughly. And once that's mixed through, you're just going to add in a little bit of sugar. I'm using some superfine sugar. If your sugar is a little grainier, you can just powder it in a dry grinder and add that in. A couple of teaspoons should do it. And continue mixing that through. These biscuits tend to spread just a tiny bit, so just remember to get then spaced out a little on the baking tray. How easy was that? Within minutes, I've got a great big bowl of my puffed rice Chivda ready. Now here you can tweak the amount of salt and sugar that you're using in the mix. Just go by taste, and once this mixture has cooled down completely, you can store this in an airtight container, and this will be good for a couple of weeks at least, if not more, if it lasts that long. We've also got our biscuits. I did have to bake the biscuits a little extra today. I think it took about 20 minutes in the oven compared to the usual 15 minutes, but every oven will differ, so keep an eye out on the cookies and make sure that they don't burn. And that's it from me. 2 easy snacks smashed out in a few minutes, hands-on time each, and you end up with 2 amazing snacks. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed these recipes. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.